Hey Virgo, I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. Here's your weekly forecast for the week of Monday, March 5th to Sunday, March 11th, 2018. Now what we've got going on this week, Virgo, is the Sun and Neptune conjunct right here in Pisces at the very beginning of the week on Monday. And that for you is your 7th house of partnerships, relationships, normally of the one-on-one variety. So I'm talking a marriage partner, a business partner, or just someone one-on-one that you feel like committed to in some way that's important to you in your life, being a big focus for you this week. I think what you're trying to do is maybe trying to understand better what's going on with your relationships, who you want in your life, in what way you work with the people that are currently in your life. And I think there could be some confusion with the Sun-Neptune thing coming in. Not quite sure what's going on with your relationships, who you need in your life, how people feel about you, how you feel about them. Okay, just going on. And I think you're trying to break through this confusion so that you can better understand what kind of people you want in your life and how you can work with them in the right ways. Okay, as you're having a lot of this focus trying to work some things out, okay, internally maybe with some of the people in your life, I think there's also some hurt feelings that could be coming up too. That's because we do have Venus and Mercury also on Monday at the very beginning of this week, forming a conjunction with Chiron at the very last degrees of Pisces in your 7th house. So as you're trying to understand your relationships better, overcome some confusion, to get more clarity about the people in your life, I think there's some hurt feelings going on. With Venus and with Mercury, maybe there's some hard conversations too that you're having. These are going to have a lot to do with other people. Maybe there's some other people that are coming into your one-on-one relationship, maybe that you're thinking about or trying to work the issues out with. Maybe as well it could be financial, how you share finances with a partner, how your partner manages their finances. Okay, I think that could be something that could definitely come up at the very beginning of this week on Monday that may not be the easiest. Okay, just confusion and some hurt feelings here in regards to your relationships on Monday. Now, as you're thinking about your relationships, I think what you're trying to figure out is how you can work with people in the right ways so that you can then do the Aries thing. Oops. So that you can then do the Aries thing right here, which rules your 8th house of changes, of endings and beginnings, and of intimacy. Because on Wednesday of this week, after all of this crazy stuff on Monday, we are going to have Venus and Mercury right here in the chart come off of Chiron and enter Aries in your 8th. So I think what you're trying to figure out on Wednesday is how to take all this stuff going on with your relationships and to get deeper with your relationships, to get more intimate in your relationships in some way. Maybe you want to share finances with someone and you're trying to figure out how to keep moving forward on these relationships to share your finances. Maybe you want to take your relationship to the next level of intimacy and you're having conversations here on how you can deepen your relationship in that way. Could also be a thing that could come in, Virgo. What else? This also does rule the 8th house endings and beginnings. So maybe as a result of something that you decide with your relationships, you also want to end something from the past or begin something else. Okay, maybe you want to begin a new chapter of your relationship, begin another relationship. Okay, and I think that's what you're trying to figure out at the beginning of this week is what do you feel about your relationships in your life and where do you want them to go next, and how can you more fully step into these chapters, relationship chapters, and what changes do you need to make them happen. All right, and I think you keep moving forward trying to make some big changes with the people in your life, even if you aren't quite sure yet what they all mean and in what way, and even if they're uncomfortable. Okay, so I think that's what's going on for most of the week. To me, it's not maybe until Saturday that more action starts to happen and more clarity starts to come. That's because on Saturday, after sitting with some of this confusion about your relationships and about some big changes you want to make in your life to accommodate some relationship insights you've got, we then have Mars come in. Okay, and Mars is right here in your 4th house of home and of family. And we have Mars make a trine over to Uranus at the very end degrees of your 8th house of changes. So I think as you're trying to figure out what people in your life, how you want to work with people, in what way, what you need to change in your life to accommodate your realizations about relationships. I think on Saturday there gets to be a lot of change, a lot of change going on very fast, happening in your home life, in your emotions, and the way that you feel emotionally about things in your life. Could also be, right, big changes in your home life, also big changes in the foundation your life is built on in some way that's coming in. With Mars starting to make a square over to Chiron, it could still be uncomfortable here when it comes to relationships. I think you're trying to figure out how to build more stability into your life with some of the relationships that it is that you have. And I think that's hard for you. I think that you're realizing in order to feel more comfortable in the relationships as they are now, you have to make a big change. You have to make a big change to your home. You have to make a big change to your family, a big change to the way business has always been done. Maybe that's the wrong word to use. A big change to the way you've lived your life previously, so that you can then start to incorporate these relationships now in a better way for you, and in a much deeper and more intimate way, financially, sexually, like whatever that is in your situation. Okay, and I think that could be maybe what's going on. Towards the end of the week, you start to make some big changes here to incorporate people into your life, to bring people, the right people in the right ways into your home, or to adjust your home now that you've made some of these things going on with relationships. That then starts to come in. Okay, I do want to say that this is going to be positive, because I do like trines, but because this is your 8th house, I think there could be some difficulty that does come in at the end of the week as well. So even though things are starting to move much more quickly at the end of the week than they were earlier, I still do think there may be some hard emotional stuff you're having to dig up, you're having to get over here towards the end of the week, so that you can make the right changes to your life, to your home life, to your emotional states, so that you can start to build your life with other people in a way that feels better for you, in a way that works, in a way that's more emotionally solid. And I think, right, that's what you're trying to work out there towards the end of the week. We also do have around that same time on Saturday, Jupiter here going retrograde in your 3rd house of talk and communication. So as you are trying to change your home life, put your life on much better footing, to build your life on a foundation that feels better, working with people in the right ways for you, I think there's also lots of communication that's going on, lots of talking. It's been a big thing for you, Virgo. You're trying to work things out in your mind and with other people, and I think you're trying to figure out what's important to you, what's important to others, what you really want, how you want to work with other people, with Scorpio coming in. And I think as you're making some big changes in your life, with your relationships, or with whatever you've decided in your relationships, I think you're going over a lot of old issues from the past to start to make sure now that everyone's on the same page, that you've said everything that you needed and wanted to say, so that you can move forward feeling much better, happening on Saturday. Okay, then after that on Sunday, we've got the Sun here in your 7th house making a sextile over to Pluto in your 5th house of happiness. Okay, now this I like much better coming in on Sunday for you. And what that's going to bring at the very, very, very end of this week is a chance for you to finally be happy with your relationships in some way, or to maybe change what makes you happy to accommodate some things that have occurred with relationships lately coming in, okay? Being a very good thing. It's almost like you had to make some of these hard changes, or you have to make some of these hard changes in your home, in your life, in your emotional states, in order for you to finally start to feel much happier with your relationships and with what's going on in your relationships at the end of the week, okay? So that's what I see going on. With Mercury here in your 8th house and a square with Saturn in your 5th, you're not going to be totally out of the woods yet. Like, even though you're starting to be happier towards the very, very end of this week, moving on with other people in your life, or with the decisions you have made about other people, I think you're still here having a lot of conversations about what changes you want to make in your life. And I think you're still trying to figure out how to be comfortable and how to be happy with all of these changes that it is that you are making. Okay, so I see an interesting thing coming in for you, Virgo, where you're starting to change your life, deepen your life, I think, so that you can put it on much better footing. Say your piece, say what you want to say what's on your mind here, better. But I think you're starting to feel good about the changes you're making towards the end of the week, but I think it's still hard. I think it's still hard for you to find the happiness to be lighthearted in life, because there's so many heavy, serious things that are going on that are really, really important for you coming in. And I think what you need to do here is to not be afraid if things get heavy, and to not be afraid if things feel a little bit more intense than you want them to feel. You're in the process of creating something maybe that you really want coming in. It takes time and it's hard, and you'll get there, and you just got to take these good moments and hold on to them when you can, so that they can sustain you maybe through some hard changes that you may have to make the next few days and weeks. All right, so that's what I've got for you, Virgo. Wish I had a more positive message this week. Now your card, the Sun, reversed. This to me indicates maybe trouble finding happiness this week. I can see it with the square to your 5th house coming in. Maybe trouble finding the joy, trouble being lighthearted. And I think what you really have to do, the message I'm getting very strongly from your chart, you gotta find happiness where you can. You gotta take the small moments. You know, you gotta take those little moments and then realize the little happy moments, they add up to big moments. You know, when you put them all together coming in this week. And I think that's what you gotta do. You know, if things are heavy, realize that they're heavy for a reason, that there's a bigger purpose for it, that there's something else that's bigger and better that it is that you're creating. And realize and accept the small good moments that you do have to help you get through this time of change, and to help you move forward, to transform yourself to be something better, hopefully, and what you want your life to be like, okay? So that's what I've got for you, Virgo. Thank you so much for watching my horoscope. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.